Some think it's going to be full steam ahead, and it's not.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us again. This is Mike Russ with ProEdge Dental Water Labs, and I'm thrilled to be talking to Kim Laudenslagher. Kim, you've done a lot for the people of Colorado, Wyoming, and where all the places you've lectured in providing good guidance for them. And particularly when it comes to dental water lines, you've done a lot of your own R&D, some research. You've done side-by-side testing with both mail-in water test and in-office testing. And tell us how that came about.
Okay, so I know it's short and sweet today, so let's just say, like everybody else, I was interested in doing the right thing and testing, but not spending more than I had to, or at least helping my offices I work with. So we had a year or two ago an option with a paddle that I'll just call the red paddle. And then that was pretty much an in-office testing. And then of course we have the companies like ProEdge that do the mail-in. So what I did is I bought a bunch of the red paddles, and then I went around to numerous offices and took samples. And I know enough about research to take, I did a control, which I call that their water, their source water. And I did the same sample for all the companies I was going to mail it to, including the red paddles. And you didn't know I was doing this. Agenics didn't know I was doing this. And I just sent it in randomly and compared how they all worked up against each other. So I pretty much learned very quickly. Unfortunately, the red paddles were not doing what we wanted them to. The good news was the mail-in programs were very comparable. I mean, you guys came back very, very similar. So then, of course, ProEdge came out last year with the Quick Pass, which was exciting. And I've not yet done side-by-side research with that, but we did, we did look at it compared to some other red samples, and it's specific to dental unit water lines, and that's what we've needed for a long time. So now we have an economical option to test in office with the blue paddles, which is ProEdge, and to do the mail-in. And I will be doing another side-by-side study with that probably in the future. That's where I'm at.
That's awesome. And yeah, we don't mind talking about the economics of it, because we get that people have a lot of things they have to do. And this is one more thing, but you've done, the reason we love you so much is that in Colorado, people test their water more than per dentist. Colorado has the highest compliance rate. And that's because of you, because all of people that go to your seminar, you tell them you don't have to do it every month or every week, but better do it. If you've never done it, you're not in compliance, and you got them to do it once a year for the mail-in, and now they're doing it more often because the in-office versions are pretty economical. And the reason they didn't do it is because it was expensive. Part of the reason it's expensive is because FedEx is involved, and that adds $50 to it no matter how many samples you have. So that we understand that economics is a part of this, and coming out of COVID, economics is going to be front and center again. People have they're going to have to do what they have to do. And maybe we could touch real briefly on, the startup procedures when we start seeing patients more frequently or more regular, hopefully effective procedures.
We call it a transition. What we know now is people have this anticipation that whatever the start date is, some think it's going to be full steam ahead, and it's not. It's probably going to be more selective elective procedures, but we can get into that another time. But they do have to prepare their water lines before they get back to work. So maybe we can do another little mini session on that sometime, so people are aware of, just a reminder to shock your system before you start. Right. That's where the paddles are perfect, because you can shock and then you can just do a real quick test after you shock to make sure that you're starting, after being off for several weeks, that you feel confident you're starting at a pretty good place.
Beautiful. That's exactly right. And it's nice that it only takes a couple of days to get those results, so that so you go in the week before shock, do the test, and then sleep good knowing you're off to a good start, at least with that. I mean, there's lots of other things they've got to be doing to restart, but that's one thing that's not too painful. Thanks for joining. Tim, let's do this again soon. Like you
Yeah, let's do it again.